first Google Hangout on air with Earth Hour. My name is Benjamin Vozzo and I'm the Digital Communications Manager here at Earth Hour Global in Singapore. Today we're going to be sharing a little bit of background about Earth Hour and some insights into how we organise the world's largest campaign for the planet. I'm sure a lot of you have already participated in Earth Hour over the years and know where it started and what happened in 2012. But for those of you who don't know, each year, towards the end of March, hundreds of millions of people unite to show their commitment to a more sustainable future for us on this Earth by switching off their lights for one designated hour. This year, the Hour of Inspiration saw participation from global landmarks such as the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Great Wall of China, the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur, the world's tallest building in Dubai, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio, Times Square in New York City, and even the Las Vegas Strip. But Earth Hour is much, much more than switching off your lights. Today, I'm joined by some of the key Earth Hour organisers around the world who are going to share their experiences about the campaign and some insights into how it's managed to grow into what it is today. So let me start off by introducing some of them to you. Firstly, we have Andy Ridley, the CEO and co-founder of Earth Hour, who is joining us from our headquarters here in Singapore. As co-founder, Andy has been there for every step in the Earth Hour journey so far, and I'm sure he's going to provide some fascinating stories and insights about where he's taken the movement today. Alongside Andy is Sid Das, the Chief Information Officer for Earth Hour Global, also joining us from Singapore. We have Elissa Kerr, who is the Earth Hour Coordinator for Emirates Wildlife Society, WWF, based in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. And we also have Greg Yan, the Communications and Media Manager from WWF Philippines. We may be joined later on by Verena Paspawardani, the Earth Hour Coordinator from WWF Indonesia. But for now, I'm going to hand it straight over to Andy Ridley, the CEO and co-founder of our global movement, to talk a little bit about what Earth Hour is to him, how it began, where it began, and how it's grown into the world's largest campaign for the planet. So Andy, over to you.
Thanks, Ben, and morning all. How are you? Yeah, thanks. I guess Earth Hour started in 2007 in Sydney, just as one city. And at the beginning, our task was, we had a very climate skeptic government in Australia at the time, and we were really trying to do something around showing that people cared about climate change, cared about the environment. So Earth Hour was an endeavour really to bring a city together, to show what is possible, to show that they cared. It was a symbolic hour, I guess at its most simple, it was meant to show that across the community, whether you're young or old, whether you're into music, whether you're into sport, whether you go to church, doesn't matter who you are, you can still show that you care by switching off the lights for 1 hour. Obviously, it's grown far, far beyond that now, and maybe we'll talk a bit about what we're trying to do with it in the long term. But that's Earth Hour at its essence.
And Andy, did you ever think that it would take part in more than 150 countries and territories and 7,000 cities and towns when you began Earth Hour back in 2007?
I think when we first started, we had this idea that we would try and first see if it worked in Sydney, and then if it worked there, maybe we could take it around Australia. If it worked there, then we'd try and take it to the world. What actually happened was the day after the first Earth Hour back in 2007, the city of Toronto rang us up and said they wanted to do an Earth Hour. So it actually grew really quickly. So the second year was 390 odd cities and towns, and then the following year was 4,000. And actually this year has been the biggest growth since 2009. We went, as you say, up to about 7,000 cities and towns around the world.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing that, Andy. Now, obviously, organising 152 countries and territories to coordinate Earth Hour is a very big job. And to let everyone in on a little secret, the Earth Hour Global Office is not a massive team of people. At our core, we are around 8 people who work throughout the year to deliver the campaign. But we rely on the hard work of Earth Hour organisers around the world, many of them volunteers. So I'm going to hand over to Sid Das now to talk a little bit about where and how Earth Hour organises 152 countries and territories, and what exactly the Earth Hour network is on Yammer.
Right. So thanks, Ben. In 2011, we decided that we were using a really traditional wiki to actually, help organizers around the world. And then we realized that we need something which is living, breathing, and which is more in line with our overall goal of creating an interconnected global community. So we wanted a platform that actually helps teams around the world share opportunities, challenges, and resources of how they manage Earth Hour in their country. That's when we started using Earth Hour Network on Yammer. And now, today, we have about 552 people on Yammer. We have a steady engagement. And for most of the year, we have about 70%, 75% engagement with the community, which is fantastic for us because while we have 51% of people who are WWF employees, we have 49% of people who actually do this as part of a volunteering. So they're actually non-WWF countries as well. So for somebody to actually have a day job and actually help with organizing Earth Hour, I think is a phenomenal testament to how strong Earth Hour is as a concept. And in terms of the fact that we actually have corporate sponsors, we have vendors, we have everybody on Yammer, and each person is actually learning from the others on how to best run Earth Hour in their country. I think that's a testament to how we're starting to create an interconnected global community among our organizers.
And Sid, would you just be able to maybe tell us what your favorite part of the Yammer network is?
My favorite part of the Yammer network is the fact that people actually help each other. So we're just 8 people. There's only so much we can do. But now suddenly when somebody puts up a question in Brunei, it's answered by somebody in China. It's answered by somebody in Sweden. And suddenly you're looking at this global movement, which is actually being coordinated globally as well. And that's a massive, massive win for us.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing that, Sid. Now, Earth Hour, as many people know, is an open source campaign, so there is very much an element of trying to empower communities out there to take ownership and to engage in actions beyond the hour. But I'm going to ask Andy, how do you think Earth Hour needs to or does communicate action beyond that 1 hour? What comes after the hour of inspiration? Especially to people that may not have yet joined one of Earth Hour's many digital communities.
Yeah, so going back to why we started this, as I said, we started this because we kept being told that not enough people cared or no one cared. It wasn't a vote winner to care about the environment. And I guess working for WWF, we'd worked on some really big campaigns, won some and lost some, but kept coming back to this idea that the scale of environmental problems around the globe are so immense that you really need to engage an incredibly large audience, hundreds of millions rather than a few hundred or a few thousand or even a million. So kind of we had a 10-year back of a beer mat plan, and that was the first one was, could we create a symbolic gesture, one which anybody could do, and that's the lights out, and could it